Mahila, for the Watchmen and for Ben V specifically, I want to talk about the Marine photo with the sword that JWW had at Campbellsville. Now, you may be able to remember Campbellsville. I'm pretty sure that's where all of this went down. The upstairs was pretty much Johnny's. And you go up, and on the way up, it's kind of like Indian in the cupboard. That's the feeling from that room on the right when you're going up. Like the first room on the right reminds me of like sumo or Indian in the cupboard and like boxing, like old boxing from like the 20s. That's the nostalgic feel. Okay, so then you go up the stairs, and then the house is just really cool, the whole thing, but the basement and the upstairs were basically Johnny's. The basement was like old Star Wars, and then he had a snake aquarium type thing for the snake. It kind of weird to have a snake, but and it was a cool snake, really. I don't really know what it was, but it looked like an anaconda. It just wasn't that big. Um, so, but I mean, it was a good size, man. It was a good size. Like it could probably kill somebody if it got around the neck. And so then you go up the stairs, and then the stairs turn left, and on that ledge right there was the photo of Johnny with the sword. Okay, so I'm just thinking, if you had to look at that every time you went up the stairs, that's pretty much a Dorian Gray. That's a Dorian Gray, because that's something that it becomes gray because it did not last. It did not come to fruits. Now, the fruits may have been there in boot camp. I don't know about the stories from my dad, but the fruits may have been there in boot camp from stuff that he suffered, you know. Um, I know Marines handle it a little bit differently than, say, the Army does, or Air Force, Coast Guard, or Navy. So, okay, so then it's different from a Dorian Gray that's black and white. A Dorian Gray that has the gray, black, and white is what we have with the seal that I believe I got with Udwadia. Udwadia was January 7th, a death that was very important. And the women in the 45 used it to communicate. But the thing is that it had a lot deeper meaning than just that. When I saw that, I thought, I'm moving right now. I'm mobile. And I thought, you know, a lanier might have shot me, and I'm in ghost sanctuary. Like, I thought all this stuff that was like I cut off for sure. For sure I did. And that was because that was my 1,000, is what I'm going with right now. I don't know, because I haven't gotten the sign yet from an event, but I'm going with that. So that is a black and white because it's done. It's those burdens are done, and that's in the past. JWW had it going on in his life. He had that turmoil in his life every day. And that's why it's gray. It's Dorian Gray. He blurred the lines of what is God and what is not because of that photo. is what I believe. And it twisted his mind into someone that he is not. And that is what is the struggle to this day, because he is not really someone who is in the system, just matrix, but he has become that because of all this craziness. Like, you know, that is the dichotomy of Groxt as well, because Grox cut off at Easy E. He cut off with the 158.11 times 6, and he is fully cut off. But he will have a double seal, a double mantle. Okay, that is what it is. And like, I'm not saying Johnny, like, yes, JWW, he had all the girls at Hooters. He had all this stuff going on. He might have cut off in a different way for the Matrix, okay? But who he is in the theater, and the symbolism of Jack Harlow, it all stems back to that Dorian Gray that was on the way up of the stairs. You know, Jacob's ladder on the way up. That's what I believe, man. And I think it twisted his mind, because I didn't keep anything from WP except my laptop. And you know that I disposed of it at Sweden, you know, the furniture. I'm just saying there was something that really, really demented his mind. And that is what I believe. So if you want to look at it as spirits, you would have to go into his mind, and like Neo saves Trinity, and take out that spirit and stomp on that spirit and put it into hell, and then he would be okay. That's kind of how I look at it. And with the, this, like, on the walls, left a puddle on the wall. That is the myth to me of Mickey Rourke. And going back and forth, and even with the driving, the CERN, I'm just saying, I I have to believe that something has been done with that to where these spirits are gonna be trapped. If they're not now, they will be, you know, because that is a spiritual, that is a spiritual task that I did for God. And it was prophesied in Heath Ledger's film. Okay. It was prophesied. And it's a spiritual task, because you're doing a movement in physical that plays out in spiritual. Okay.